I needed this episode so much. I needed this type of episode to uplift my spirits, get me in a better mood, because I really needed that fairy tale comedy. Now, I don't know what was up, but for some reason on Crunchyroll, it took them like an hour and a half to get this episode up and running on their site. And I'm like, what the hell? I waited around to like 10-something to get this episode to start playing on my, the website of Crunchyroll, and it wasn't playing. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And so, after checking just recently, it finally started working. I'm like, okay, I guess there was a problem. But either way, it took forever for this episode to play. Now, I want to talk about this episode. For the most part, this episode could be considered filler, because not much really happens in this episode. You just have Roche walking around, trying to figure out how to get back to his guild hall, and you have Sting Rogue and Yukino following him around. That's the main concept of this episode, the main plot of this episode, and like I said, there really wasn't much actual major story progression whatsoever in this episode. But this episode was fun, and I had a lot of fun watching it because I needed the comedy. Now, as always, it depends on your type of comedy if you really enjoyed this episode, but I felt like it was a very cute and adorable episode, getting to see Feroce just walk around and trying to figure out where to go, and you get to actually see a little bit of character development, just a little bit of character development with Feroce of how he admits that he is lost, and he is trying to find his way back. So I like the character development, the little character development we got, but the main concept that this episode really tries to show you is the adorable side of Feroce. That's what I think this episode is meant to do. Now, I felt like the animation of this episode, personally, was really good. It wasn't the best, of course, but I felt like the animation of this episode was rather good for a fillerish type episode. Speaking of filler, I actually want to bring this up. I mentioned a little bit of it in my last couple of reviews, but I want to bring it up if you still do not know. We will be entering a filler arc, I think, next week. Next episode is going to be a filler arc. We're entering a filler arc that's going to be focused around celestial dragons, for what Mashima has stated, I think, on his blog or whatever. I saw a couple Chibis posting that, so I wanted to let all of you know if you did not know. So we are going into a filler arc next episode, and the reason why for this is because we need to have, the link between the manga and anime spread out even further, because, we don't want another Fairy Tail hiatus, do we? That's the exact reason why Fairy Tail went on hiatus in the first place, was because the anime caught up to the manga way too close, and they had to cancel, Fairy Tail's anime for a while, like an entire year. And so that's why they're trying to space it out with another filler arc coming up. So I'm completely satisfied with the filler arc. It's the perfect time for a filler arc before they get into the next upcoming arc. So I felt like they're doing a great decision by doing it now. I had fun. It was a great episode. I felt like Feroce was adorable as always. You got like, Fro thinks so too. That was cute. That was a really, really cute and adorable moment in this episode. And personally, I can't wait for next week's episode. I'm interested to see exactly what type of filler arc we're going to be going into, because if I remember Fairy Tail filler arcs correctly, Fairy Tail filler is not that bad, honestly. They usually have some really good action scenes into them. They really have some good, overall, little bit of plot lines going on in them, and they have interesting villains that are usually displayed in the filler arcs. Some of the filler arcs I have seen in Fairy Tail are just really great, so it depends. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How did you feel about this episode of Fairy Tail? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? And what do you feel about that Erza in the frog outfit, Feroce's outfit? Oh my god. Did you expect that? Come on. Did you? Well, yeah, I guess you kind of expected, since it technically was in the preview trailer for this episode. I guess it was kind of obvious, but still, the point of it is, did you expect Erza to have that type of fan service in this episode if you did not watch the preview? Let me know in the comments below. Love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.